Admiral Kim Hanna pressed her face against the cold metal of the viewing window. Outside in the darkness of space, huge alien ships were arriving at Nexus Prime Station. Each ship was bigger than anything humans had ever built. The Zephyrian mothership looked like a floating crystal palace, covered in old battle scars. The Korthak warships were painted blood red and had weapons sticking out everywhere like angry spikes. 12 different alien races, said Commander Lee Juno as he walked up behind her, all here to talk about us. Hannah did not turn around. She kept watching as more ships arrived. Talk about us? No, they want to control us. For the past 5 years, humans have been spreading across the galaxy faster than anyone expected. Earth colonies popped up in star systems that other races claimed belonged to them. Human traders went wherever they wanted. Human explorers ignored the old rules about which areas were off-limits. The alien races did not like this at all. Dr. Park Miho looked up from his computer tablet. The intelligence reports are all the same. They think we are dangerous because we do not follow their rules. Captain Choi Sora checked her communication device. Dangerous? We just want to explore and trade. We have not attacked anyone. That is not how they see it, Hannah said quietly. To them, we are like wild animals that need to be put in a cage. The truth was more complicated. For thousands of years, the 12 alien races had divided up the galaxy between themselves. They had rules about who could go where and who could do what. They had treaties and agreements that kept everything neat and organized. Then humans showed up and ignored all of it. Humans did not ask permission to build colonies. They did not pay the taxes that other races paid. They did not bow down to the powerful alien leaders. Worst of all, humans kept finding new ways to do things that made the alien technology look old and weak. Admiral, Juno said, the council meeting starts in 2 hours. Are you ready? Hannah finally turned away from the window. She looked at her small team of 4 people. Outside, there were alien ships carrying thousands of delegates, soldiers, and weapons. Inside the station, hundreds of alien leaders were waiting to tell humanity what it could and could not do. I have been ready for 3 years, she said. The other humans looked confused. 3 years ago, Hannah had been just another ship captain. She became an admiral after the incident at the Kepler colonies, when human settlers refused to leave their homes just because an alien race claimed they were there legally. But Hannah had been planning for this day much longer than anyone knew. Admiral, Miho asked, what do you think they will demand? Everything, Hannah replied. They will want us to stop expanding. They will want us to give them our technology. They will want us to pay them money for causing trouble. They will want us to follow their rules and do what we are told. And if we refuse, Sora asked, they have 50 times more ships than we do. They think that means we have no choice. Juno frowned. Do we have a choice? Hannah smiled, but it was not a happy smile. There's always a choice. The question is whether you are brave enough to make it. She walked over to a secure communication terminal and entered a long code. After a few seconds, a green light appeared. All teams report ready, she said to the others. Protocol Exodus is standing by. The others had heard this phrase before, but they still did not know what it meant. Admiral Hannah had been very secretive about her backup plans. Admiral, Miho said carefully, what exactly is Protocol Exodus? Hope, she answered. And if that fails, freedom. Outside the window, more alien ships kept arriving. The largest one belonged to the council leader, an ancient creature that ruled over all the other races. Its ship was black as space and twice the size of Earth's moon. They are so sure they've already won, Sora observed. Let them think that, Hannah said. Confidence makes people careless. She looked at each member of her team. Juno was young but smart and loyal. Miho was the best scientist Earth had ever produced. Sora was a fighter pilot who had never lost a battle. Together, they represented everything good about humanity. Curiosity, courage, and a refusal to give up. Remember, Hannah told them, we are not here to surrender. We are here to give them one last chance to do the right thing. And if they choose not to take it? Juno asked. Hannah looked back out at the alien fleet surrounding them. Thousands of ships, millions of soldiers, weapons that could destroy entire planets. Then we show them what happens when you try to cage the wind. The communication system crackled to life. A cold alien voice filled the room. Human delegates will report to Council Chamber 7 immediately. The judgment begins now. Hannah straightened her uniform and picked up her small bag of documents. Inside that bag were humanity's terms for peace. She hoped the aliens would be smart enough to accept them, but she was prepared for what would happen if they were not. The council chamber was enormous, with a ceiling so high it disappeared into darkness. Admiral Kim Hannah walked slowly down the center aisle, her footsteps echoing in the silent hall. On both sides, hundreds of alien delegates watched her with eyes, sensors, and things she could not even name. At the far end sat the council leaders on a raised platform. The Zephyrian elder looked like a giant crystal spider, his body glowing with inner light. Next to him, the Korthak war leader was covered in black armor with spikes and weapons built right into his body. Between them sat 10 other alien rulers, each one representing millions of worlds and billions of creatures. "The human delegation will sit there," said the council speaker, pointing to a small table in the center of the room. It was positioned so that all the aliens could look down at them. Hannah sat down calmly. Commander Lee Juno, Dr. Park Miho, and Captain Choi Sora took the seats beside her. They looked tiny compared to the massive aliens surrounding them, but none of them appeared nervous. The Zephyrian elder raised one crystal arm. His voice boomed through speakers built into the walls. "For 5 years, your species has caused chaos in our galaxy. Today, this ends." A holographic display appeared above their heads. It showed a map of the galaxy with thousands of red dots marking human colonies. Many of these dots were in areas claimed by other races. "These are your crimes," the elder continued. "You build colonies where you are not welcome. You ignore our laws. You refuse to pay the taxes all civilized species must pay." The Korthak war leader stood up, his metal boots clanging on the floor. "Your traders go everywhere without permission. Your explorers enter forbidden zones. Your scientists steal our secrets and make them better." More displays appeared. They showed human ships and star systems that were supposed to be off limits. They showed human technology that worked better than alien versions. They showed human colonies that had been built without asking anyone for permission. Dr. Miho leaned over to Admiral Hannah. "They have been watching us very closely." "Not closely enough," she whispered back. The council speaker read from a long document. "The Galactic Council demands the following from the human species. First, all human expansion must stop immediately. Second, humans may only build new colonies in areas we approve. Third, all human technology must be shared with the Council. Fourth, Earth must pay 50 billion credits as punishment for past violations. Fifth, all human military forces must be reduced by half. Sixth, human ships may only travel with Council permission." The alien delegates made sounds of approval. Some clapped with hands, others buzzed with wings, and a few made noises that the translation computers could not identify. Admiral Hannah sat quietly through all of this. She did not look angry or scared. She just listened and occasionally took notes. "Do you understand these terms?" the elder asked. "I understand them perfectly," Hannah replied. Her voice was calm and clear. "Then you will accept them?" Instead of answering, Hannah asked her own question. Why did the Altarian colonies in the Vegas sector disappear 3 months ago? The aliens looked confused. The Altarian delegate, a creature that looked like a walking tree, shifted uncomfortably. "That is not relevant to this discussion," the council speaker said. "What happened to the missing Draconi exploration fleets?" Hannah continued. 7 ships went into the outer rim and never returned. The Draconi representative made a hissing sound. "Our ships are not your concern, human." Commander Juno passed Hannah a data tablet. She looked at it and asked another question. "Why are their energy readings consistent with human technology in the Kepler 442 system? According to your records, no humans have ever been there." Now the aliens were getting agitated. Several of them started talking at once in their own languages. "These questions are pointless delays," the war leader growled. Accept our terms or face the consequences. Dr. Miho spoke up. We have detected some very interesting energy signatures coming from beyond the galactic rim. Patterns that suggest intelligence. Ancient intelligence. The room suddenly became very quiet. The aliens stopped moving. Even their breathing seemed to pause. Captain Sora added, Our deep space monitors have been picking up transmissions for the past year. Someone out there has been trying to communicate. The Zephyrian Elder's crystal body flickered rapidly. The rim holds only death and emptiness. Your instruments are malfunctioning. Are they? Admiral Hannah asked. She activated her own holographic display. It showed star charts of the galaxy's edge, with strange energy patterns marked in blue. These readings have been getting stronger, more organized, almost like someone is waiting for the right moment to make contact. Impossible, whispered the elder, but his voice sounded less certain. Many things seem impossible until they happen, Hannah said. She stood up and looked around the chamber. Your demands assume that humanity has no other options. But what if we do? What are you talking about? The war leader demanded. Hannah smiled. Perhaps it is time for a different conversation. One about friendship instead of control. About exploration instead of limitation. About working together instead of forcing others to obey. The council speaker slammed his staff on the floor. You will accept our terms. You have no choice. There is always a choice, Admiral Hannah replied. The question is whether you are wise enough to help us make the right one. The aliens began arguing among themselves. Some wanted to accept Hannah's hints about mysterious contacts. Others demanded immediate surrender. None of them noticed a small device on Hannah's belt blinking green. Protocol Exodus had just received final authorization. Admiral Kim Hannah stood up slowly. The massive council chamber fell silent as hundreds of alien eyes focused on her. She walked to the center of the room, her footsteps echoing off the high walls. Honored delegates, she began, her voice carrying clearly through the translation systems. The Republic of Earth has listened carefully to your concerns and your demands. The Zephyrian elder leaned forward, his crystal body glowing brighter. Then you accept our terms? We have a counterproposal, Hannah said. Angry sounds erupted from the alien delegates. The Korthak war leader's armor made grinding noises as he shifted in his seat. You are not in a position to make proposals human. Hannah ignored the outburst and activated a holographic display. It showed not maps of conquest or listed demands, but images of beautiful worlds with cities built by multiple species working together. Humanity offers true partnership, she said. We propose joint exploration of uncharted regions where all species can find new homes. We offer shared research programs where human creativity combines with your ancient wisdom. We suggest mutual defense agreements where we protect each other instead of fighting each other. Dr. Park Miho stood beside her. Our scientists have made breakthroughs in faster-than-light travel, planetary terraforming, and energy generation. We are willing to share all of this freely. In exchange for what? Asked the Draconi delegate, her snake-like head weaving suspiciously. Partnership, Captain Choi Sora replied. Not slavery, not submission. Equal partnership where every species has a voice. The aliens began talking among themselves. Some seemed interested, but others looked angry. The council speaker raised his staff for silence. These are pretty words, he said, but you have already broken our laws. You must be punished first. Admiral Hannah nodded, as if she had expected this response. Very well, but our offer has conditions. You make conditions now? The war leader's weapon systems hummed with energy. You dare make demands of us? One condition, Hannah said calmly. This offer expires in exactly 72 hours. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. Aliens jumped to their feet, making sounds of outrage in dozens of languages. The translation computers struggled to keep up with all the angry words. 72 hours? The elder's crystal form flickered rapidly. You think you can give us deadlines? Commander Lee Juno checked his watch. 71 hours and 58 minutes now. Dr. Miho activated another display. This one showed star charts of the galactic rim, marked with strange energy patterns. We have made some interesting discoveries during our exploration of the outer regions. What kind of discoveries? Asked the Altarian delegate, though his tree-like body seemed to tremble as he spoke. Ancient signals, Miho replied. Communications from beyond the spiral's edge. Someone has been trying to make contact for a very long time. The room became deathly quiet. Many alien species had legends about the rim, old stories about dangers that lived in the darkness between galaxies. Children were told scary tales about things that waited beyond the stars. The rim is forbidden, whispered the elder. Nothing good has ever come from that direction. Captain Sora smiled. That depends on your definition of good. What are you saying? The war leader demanded. Admiral Hannah looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of every council leader. 3 months ago, our deep space explorers made first contact with beings who call themselves the Architects. They are very old and very wise. They have been waiting. Waiting for what? The council speaker's voice shook slightly. For a species mature enough to join them, Hannah replied. Mature enough to think beyond one small galaxy. Mature enough to explore what lies in the infinite darkness between star clusters. More angry sounds filled the chamber, but now they were mixed with fear. The Zephyrian elder's glow dimmed noticeably. You lie, he said, but his voice lacked conviction. Dr. Miho activated a new display. This one showed energy readings unlike anything in council databases. The patterns were clearly artificial, clearly intelligent, and clearly more advanced than anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Architects have technologies that make our best science look primitive, Miho explained. They can travel between galaxies as easily as we travel between stars. They have cities that float in the void between star clusters. They have been exploring the universe for millions of years. And they chose to contact humans? The Draconi delegates sounded insulted. They contacted the first species they found that was not afraid to explore, Captain Sora answered. The first species that chose curiosity over fear. The council speaker slammed his staff repeatedly. Enough of this nonsense. Accept our terms or we will force you to comply. Admiral Hannah checked her watch. 71 hours and 53 minutes remaining. You think these mysterious friends will save you? The war leader laughed, but it sounded forced. Even if they exist, we have you surrounded now. 50 times more ships than your entire fleet. True, Hannah agreed, but you are thinking like conquerors instead of explorers. The Architects do not save anyone. They simply open doors for those brave enough to walk through them. She activated one final display. This one showed transmission logs from human deep space stations. Hundreds of messages, all using mathematics and physics as universal languages, all coming from beyond the rim, all growing stronger and more frequent. 71 hours and 52 minutes, Commander Juno announced. The Zephyrian elder's crystal body darkened almost black. What happens when your deadline expires? Admiral Hannah's expression remained perfectly calm. Then we stop waiting for you to choose growth over control. We stop hoping you will join us in something greater than petty territorial disputes. And then we say goodbye and begin our real journey, with or without you. The 72 hours pass like a countdown to something terrible. The alien delegates spent the time arguing among themselves, threatening humanity, and demanding more proof of the mysterious Architects. Admiral Kim Hannah and her team waited patiently in their small quarters on Nexus Prime Station. When the final hour arrived, the council called an emergency session. The chamber was packed with even more aliens than before. Military commanders stood beside the political leaders. Weapons were openly displayed. The message was clear: submit or face destruction. The Zephyrian elder's crystal body blazed with angry light. Your time is up, humans. Accept our terms immediately or suffer the consequences. Admiral Hannah stood up from her chair with quiet dignity. She smoothed down her uniform and looked around the chamber one final time. Commander Lee Juno, Dr. Park Miho, and Captain Choi Sora stood beside her, their faces calm and resolute. Honored delegates, Hannah said, her voice clear and steady. I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak with you. It has been educational. The council speaker leaned forward. Then you accept our demands? No, Hannah replied simply. We cannot accept your terms. Shocked silence filled the chamber. The aliens had expected threats, negotiations, maybe even begging. They had not expected such a calm refusal. You refuse. The Korthak war leader rose from his seat, his weapon systems powering up with a dangerous hum. You think you can just say no to the entire Galactic Council? We are saying no to slavery, Captain Sora said quietly. We are saying no to giving up our freedom to explore and grow. Dr. Miho stepped forward. Therefore, as of this moment, the Republic of Earth is implementing Protocol Exodus. What is Protocol Exodus? Demanded the Draconi delegate. Admiral Hannah pressed a button on a small device attached to her belt. Immediately, alert signals began flashing on alien communication consoles throughout the chamber. All human diplomatic, commercial, and civilian personnel are evacuating Council space effective immediately. The war leader laughed harshly. You think you can just leave? We have your territory surrounded. We have 50 times more ships than you. You are welcome to count them, Commander Juno said calmly, checking his watch. But you might want to hurry. The evacuation began the moment we entered the star system 3 days ago. As if responding to his words, urgent reports started flooding into the chamber. Alien communication officers ran to their leaders with tablets full of disturbing news. Human trading posts across the galaxy were shutting down. Human merchants were packing up and leaving alien worlds. Human colonies were launching massive evacuation fleets. But something was wrong with the reports. The numbers did not make sense. This says 300,000 humans are evacuating from the Vega sector alone, the Altarian delegate said, his tree-like form shaking. But our intelligence reported only 50,000 humans living there. Your intelligence was incomplete, Dr. Miho replied with a slight smile. More reports arrived. Human ships were launching from every known human world, but they were not retreating toward Earth. They were heading toward the galactic rim, toward the empty space between star systems where nothing was supposed to exist. 4,000 ships have been detected leaving human space, an alien officer reported to the Council. But, sir, that is impossible. Earth's entire fleet is only 800 vessels. The Zephyrian Elder's glow flickered nervously. Where did these extra ships come from? Captain Sora activated a holographic display that made every alien in the chamber gasp. It showed the real scope of human expansion, not just the colonies they had openly declared, but hundreds of hidden settlements, secret shipyards, and research stations scattered throughout unexplored regions. You've been watching the wrong places, she said. While you focus on our official colonies, we were building our real future in the spaces you considered worthless. The display zoomed in on the galactic rim. What had appeared to be empty space was actually filled with massive structures, space stations, shipyards, and things that defied easy description. All of them were powered up and fully operational. Impossible, whispered the war leader, but his voice had lost its confidence. We have been preparing for this day for 3 years, Admiral Hannah explained. Every threat you made, every demand for submission, every attempt to control us just confirmed what we already knew. This galaxy is too small for both your empire and our dreams. Emergency alerts began blaring throughout the chamber. The alien zone sensor networks were detecting something unprecedented. Massive energy barriers appearing around every human world. Not weapons, but shields unlike anything in Council databases. What is that? The Elder demanded, pointing at the displays showing human space surrounded by a glowing energy field. Dr. Miho checked his tablet. Architect technology. They have been quite generous with their gifts to species they consider worthy partners. You are bluffing, the Council speaker said, but he sounded uncertain. These architects do not exist. As if in response to his words, space near Nexus Prime began to ripple. Something vast and impossible was approaching, moving through dimensions that Council science could not even detect. You wanted proof, Admiral Hannah said, gathering her small bag of belongings. You are about to get it. Commander Juno looked at his watch one final time. Protocol Exodus is now complete. All human personnel have been successfully evacuated from Council space. The 4 humans walked toward the exit of the chamber. Behind them, The alien delegates sat in stunned silence as their entire understanding of the galaxy crumbled around them. "Where are you going?" the elder called out desperately. Admiral Hannah paused at the doorway to say hello to some very old friends and to begin a journey that you were all invited to join. The door closed behind them with a soft click that somehow sounded like the end of everything the Council thought they knew. 6 weeks after the humans walked away from Nexus Prime, the Galactic Council faced a reality none of them had imagined possible. The Zephyrian Elder sat in his crystal throne, reviewing reports that made no sense. His advisors shuffled nervously around him, afraid to speak the truth they all knew. "Show me the scan results again," the Elder commanded. The holographic display showed what remained of human space. Where once there had been dozens of human worlds, now there was simply nothing. Not destroyed planets or empty systems, but a region that their sensors could not penetrate at all. Any ship that tried to enter human territory just stopped moving. "The Korthak War Fleet tried to cross the boundary yesterday," reported his military advisor. "All 50 ships just froze in space. They could not move forward or backward. Then strange vessels appeared and escorted them safely out of the area." What did these strange vessels look like? The pilots said they were beautiful beyond description, made of light and energy. The humans aboard them were polite, but firm. They said human space was no longer available to Council ships. The Elder's crystal form flickered with frustration. This was not how conquests were supposed to work. When you defeated an enemy, you took their territory and resources. You did not get locked out by invisible barriers. Across the galaxy, the Korthak war leader faced similar problems. His empire depended on trade routes that passed through what used to be human space. Without those routes, moving goods between his worlds took 3 times longer and cost 5 times more. "The economy is collapsing," his treasurer reported. "Half our trade agreements were with human companies. The other half use human technology to function properly. Then we will build our own technology. Sir, we tried. The human improvements to our systems were so integrated that removing them broke everything. Our ships are 30% slower without human-enhanced engines. Our communication networks are failing without human signal boosters. Even our food production is down because human agricultural techniques were so much better than ours." The war leader smashed his armored fist into the wall, leaving a deep dent. How did they become so essential without us noticing? The answer was that humans had been quietly making themselves useful for years. They fixed problems, improved systems, and solved challenges that other species had struggled with for centuries. Now that they were gone, those problems had returned worse than ever. On the Draconi homeworld, similar chaos reigned. The Draconi delegate slithered through her palace halls, past broken machinery and flickering lights. Human engineers had upgraded everything so gradually that no one realized how dependent they had become. "The medical centers are requesting emergency assistance," her aide reported. "The human-designed medical scanners are malfunctioning, and we do not know how to repair them. What about our own doctors? They say human medical techniques were so advanced that they stopped teaching the old methods. We have a generation of doctors who only know how to use human technology." But the worst news came from the rim monitoring stations. The ancient warning systems that watch for dangers from beyond the galaxy had all been improved by human scientists. Now those systems were failing one by one, leaving the Council blind to whatever might be approaching from the darkness between stars. It was then that the transmission arrived. Every communication device in Council space suddenly activated at the same time. The signal was so powerful it overrode all other broadcasts. On billions of screens across thousands of worlds, the same image appeared. Admiral Kim Hannah, but not as they remembered her. She stood in a vast crystalline chamber filled with impossible beauty. Behind her, beings of pure energy moved like living starlight. The architecture was clearly not built by any species the Council knew, yet felt ancient beyond measure. "Leaders of the Galactic Council," Hannah began, her voice carrying clearly across space and time. "I greet you from the city ship Harmony, home to the architects who build the great passages between galaxies." The camera pulled back to show the true scale of where she stood. The chamber was not a room, but a hollow space inside something larger than most planets. Through transparent walls, the council delegates could see other galaxies spinning slowly in the cosmic distance. For 10 million years, the architect have traveled between the star clusters, searching for species mature enough to join them in exploring what lies beyond the local group of galaxies. Behind Admiral Hannah, towering figures of light gestured to star maps that showed not just their galaxy, but hundreds of others stretching into infinity. The scale was overwhelming, making council territorial disputes seem as petty as arguments between insects. Humanity chose growth over control, exploration over dominion, cooperation over conquest. The architects found us worthy of partnership. The transmission showed human ships moving between galaxies as easily as crossing a room, cities floating in the void between star clusters, technologies that made council science look like children's toys, humans working alongside beings of unimaginable advancement, learning secrets that could reshape reality itself. We invited you to join us in this journey, Hannah continued, her expression genuinely sad. We offered partnership, shared exploration, and mutual growth. You chose instead to demand our submission to your small, frightened vision of what the universe should be. The image shifted to show the evacuation fleets, hundreds of thousands of humans, but also members of other species who had chosen to leave their old lives behind. Aliens who had decided that infinite possibility was worth more than familiar comfort. To any species willing to abandon the old ways of thinking, we extend this invitation once more. Leave behind the need to control others. Stop trying to hoard resources and territory. Join us in the infinite. The transmission began to fade, but not before displaying humanity's new motto in every council language. We invited you to walk with us. You chose to stand in our way. We will remember you fondly from the stars. In the silence that followed, the Galactic Council finally understood. They had not lost a war. They had missed a chance to evolve beyond war entirely. The door to infinity remained open, but only for those brave enough to walk through it.